Fumi Nation, how are you? For our new citizens, yes, that are joining Fumi Nation, my name is Fumi Desalu-Vold. Welcome to yet, my darling, another Sister to Sister. Sister to Sister is a staple on this channel because we like to chat, we like to talk, and we like to discuss each other's stories. I am here for it all. But before I continue, might I say thank you very much for the hospitality you showed to my wonderful friend Aubrey Ward on the last episode in regards to grief. All of us have lost somebody, and I could absolutely see the bond with all of us in that last episode, and Aubrey will be back many a time. For sure, for sure. This episode, again, is all about your stories and what we are talking about. I'm a little festive today. I'm a little festive. I'm losing weight. I'm toning up. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And Christmas is in the air, and I wanted to do something glittery because you guys always talk about, for me, oh, the glitter is a little bit scary. So we're going to try that. The blouse is from Zara. Yep. And then, as you can see, we have ponytail vibes. So let me go through the makeup palettes that we're using, okay? Solik Beauty touches my heart because it's a friend of mine. Wonderful woman, wonderful human being. And she has come out with, let me just put this cover so that it doesn't blind you. No, as a matter of fact, I'll just bend it over. She has come out with the most amazing glitter palette. Mwah! Congratulations, Solik Beauty, the CEO of this brand. Her name is Priscilla. I'm going to put it all here for you. You have to follow her. You have to support her. When it comes to holiday, to Christmas, to New Year's, to party, this is going to be your palette, and this is what we are going to use. Can you guess the color I'm going to use? Can you guess? So we're going to use Solik Beauty. Congratulations, my darling. And we have 18 beautiful colors right here. We are going to also use Pat McGrath. I did a tutorial on her blushes. I love this. It's an electric bloom. It is gorgeous. And we are going to go with what? Naima Tang with that gorgeous chocolate lip. That's what we are doing. Our setting spray is Sour Patch. Our setting spray is Sour Patch. Do we love, darlings? Do we love? It's so much fun. Yeah, Sour Patch. And of course, and forever and always, we have JUVIAS, please, because they come out with these colors that are unmatched. And as you can see, they've been very well used. Okay, moving along. So this is a very long story. Yeah, it's a long request. So I'm going to put it up here for you to read. The long and short of it is this, and I'm going to read this part out for you. In my past, I believe I have given too many chances to guys who disappoint me and wasted my time. This guy from the birthday party seems to be interested. I'm treading lightly and I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm guarding my heart. As a tall woman, I have always wanted a guy my height or taller, but they are so few. Do you have any stories of any of your tall model friends who found real lasting love with a shorter guy? Just a little sister to sister idea. And I responded, oh, I'm so happy for you, darling. And yes, as a tall woman myself, I absolutely dated shorter guys, and it never bothered me at all. True. I'll ask Fumi Nation and see what they say. This could be your blessing, though. Don't forget to invite me to the wedding. So it is one of our Fumi Nation sisters. She's 5'11", and she just hasn't had luck with guys. She met this guy who is much shorter. He has a daughter. He's in his 40s, and she's not sure. Because as far as she's concerned, the guy in her mind who she was going to walk down the aisle with, it's not the kind of guy she's seeing out there. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk about it. Da, 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 da. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to take a brush of loops. Yep. Because we are going to what? We are going to now create a base. Okay. Create a base for what? For the eyeshadow. Why do we have a base for the eyeshadow? Because the eyeshadow lasts longer and is much more pigmented, as you very well know. The Pour and Conceal palette by MAC just gives me so much life. I love, absolutely. And let's get into the discussion, okay? The first thing I'm going to say is this. When you open up your mind, the world will open up to you. That is one. The second is this. Lose the rule book. Lose what? Your book of rules. All of us have one, as did I. Lose it. Because I tell you this, tell the Lord up above your plans, and you will amuse him. Because more often than not, that's not the way it's going to go down. I'm using Juvia's Place. This is the Saharan palette number 2. I'm going in with this shade right here. It's a transition shade, and we're going to punch this up above. We are so used to having an ideology about the guy that we're going to be with. He has to be this. You have that list of him being this, him being that. And I am here to tell you, get rid of the fact that you can only date a certain guy from a certain race. Get rid of the fact that you cannot date a guy from a certain religion. Get rid of that list where it says, I can only date a guy from a certain tribe. Because even in countries, the same country, and I'll just use Nigeria because I'm Nigerian, you have so many different tribes. And still, there are girls and guys that will not date out of that tribe. Get rid of the fact that, oh, I can't date somebody that is not from my neighborhood, not from where I grew up. Can't date him. As you very well know, I love this Revolution Glow. Gorgeous. Should I clean it? Yes, I should. Revolution Glow. Love it. It's a very cool toned brown. And so it just really works as a transition shade. Okay? Get rid of the fact that, oh my God, this guy is short, I can't date him. Get rid of all of those ideologies. It's interesting, isn't it, that we as women, we really get upset when men criticize our physical appearance. We do. But we do the same thing too. He has to be handsome. He has to be tall. He has to be all of these things. And yet, at the bottom, at the very, very, very bottom, where it really, really counts, which is love, that is not on the list. He has to love me. He has to care for me. He has to be selfless. He has to be generous. We look at all the physical attributes because that is what is pleasing to the eye. That is what we look at. And so we think, that is our love. That's where we're going to be the happiest. And that's never the case. As I have said many times before, and I will say it again, if you don't find love, relationships, wherever you are, town, city, neighborhood, get out of there. Because after a while, your insecurities will weigh in and you truly will think it's you. It's not you. You're just in the wrong place. You have to venture out into this big world and find your place. Because 99% of the time, the shackles have been removed from our wrists and from our ankles, but we're mentally imprisoned. We mentally imprison ourselves, and so we limit ourselves in a limitless world. You have to go where you are loved, and that will really depend on how you embrace it. And so that brings me to where? Story time. Listen to the story. I'm using JUVIAS Place. This is the Saharan one. I'm using the Chad because I want to really just smoke out the eye before I go in with the Solik Beauty and use the glitter. So I'm using it on the outer V and then above the crease to use the halo effect. There you go. I went to the American College in London. It was a wonderful time. And I studied business administration. Well, let me start by saying something. I am so tickled pink, you would never know how much, that you consider me a storyteller. A good one. Because I grew up stammering. I still do, till this very day. If I get upset, really upset, I stammer. And so I had terrible insecurities about that. And because of those insecurities, I was always in fights. Because if you spoke to me slick some kind of way, with disagreement or whatever, and I couldn't get my words out, I would slap you right across the face. I didn't waste no kind of time. Yeah, I was always in fights. Because I was insecure. Because I couldn't get my words out. And that really affected my confidence. I was very, very insecure, and I was always a people pleaser, trying to please. And you just tap the black on the edges like so, because this is where we're gonna put the glitter right there, okay? As I was saying, I went to the American College in London and I studied business administration. And in that university, we had over 75 different nationals, students that came from different countries, 75 of them and more, as a matter of fact. And I was dating this guy that I really shouldn't have been dating because it was a waste of my time. And he played around, he was never attentive to me, all of these things. You would think that that would be enough for me to say, date somebody else. But I was a 20-year-old girl away from home, stammerer, and so my confidence wasn't that great. But I was tall, so I modeled. I modeled while I was in college, I modeled outside of college, and that gave me a little bit of confidence, but not so much. I was now going to my second year in university, and there are new students that come in, as well as older students from the year before. If you're doing the same course, you kind of do the same classes, if you know what I mean. And I was doing macroeconomics and microeconomics, which I hated. My God, it was so hard. But it was one of those courses that you had to do. So here I am walking in, and there was this shorter guy. I don't remember his name. I'm talking about 30 years ago. And I think he was from Bulgaria. He was from a European country. And he came all the way to come and sit beside me. And I just looked at him like, let me shift my chair. I was so not interested. And just like this girl, part of it was he was short. So I was like, shoo. Shoo, away from here. He was persistent. And every opportunity that he would get, hi Fumi, how are you? Hi. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to know him. I was rude, actually, when I look back at it. We are going to go in with Solik Beauty, and we are going to go in with what? The beautiful blue. Yeah, why not? And every chance he got, he would come and sit beside me. He would talk to me, and it was the last thing I wanted. Now that I think about it, I do not think that the guy that I was dating even knew the courses I was taking. But the short guy would always come to me. Fumi, how are you? How is everything? And sometimes when I would see him in my direction, I would actually turn around and go the opposite direction. Because I just was not interested in him at all. It was also at university that I learned how to handle my speech impediment, you can say. And I was told to speak slowly. Yeah. Speak slowly. Take your time. Which I do to this very day. It's so funny because if my lecturer could see me now, he's passed away, that Fumi is on YouTube. And Fumi talks the way she does. He would be in tears of joy and happiness. He would. It would be so unbelievable to him because I could not even stand in front of the class. Anyway, my so-called boyfriend and I had had a quarrel. And I was in pieces. To the point that I could not even focus in class. I packed my things and I left. I was so upset. I can't remember. Years have passed now. But I knew that it was important at that time. And just pat all the way to the side. Okay? There you go. Isn't it beautiful? This is so gorgeous. Such a beautiful palette. Okay? As I made my way out, we're going to use this glitter right here as well, just on the inside. As I made my way out, I saw this guy, the shorter guy. I'll never forget, my bag was dangling on my shoulders, not elegantly in any way. There you go. Oh, that's so pretty. And he walked right up beside me and he took my bag. I was so upset that I didn't fight him off. And he walked me back to my dormitory. When we got to my dormitory, he asked for the key. I gave him. And he walked me into our dorm. In those days, I think I shared a dormitory with 2 other girls. And I think one of them was at home. So she was like, oh, Fumi, are you okay? And everything. So I was like, yes. And there's a beautiful palette, that's it, that Christina bought for me as a gift. And it's the Coming to America by Uoma. And this middle shade right here is Life. This one right here, let me just bring it forward so you guys can see. This one is Everything. Really beautiful. And I'm just going to put that in the arch. Okay, right here. Yeah, just to give it that glow. He stayed for a while and then he left. I didn't go to class the following day, and he came to my place. And he said, Fumi, you have to pass microeconomics. You have to pass. I said, who asked you? He said, you're an international student. Your father is paying international fees. And he was right. In those days, if you were an international student, you paid double, which didn't make sense. You should have paid half, but you paid double. And my father was paying international fees. Just like how this guy's parents was paying for him. This, my darlings, is a Maybelline. No, it's a Revlon. No, it is. This is a Maybelline pencil that was in collaboration with Gigi Hadid. One of the blackest pencils ever. Drugstore Fabulosity. I've mentioned it before on my channel. And I really love it because it's creamy and it glides on beautifully. See, do you see the pitch darkness of it? And so for the next 2-3 weeks or so, he would come, we would go to class together, and he taught me everything he knew about macroeconomics. I passed. We're using Bad Girl Bang Mascara. Yappy-doo. And this is by Benefit. Love, love, love their mascara. We're going to put on lashes. I just want to put on mascara first. Of course, my so-called useless boyfriend, I didn't hear from him. I was still trying to find out, what, has he called? Did he leave a message? Has anybody seen him? Let me walk by his class. Yeah. I have gifts. Yes. And so, needless to say, we all graduated. I graduated. I went on to go to America. And at the party which they had for the students, this guy was there. And he said to me, I'm trying to remember. Lily Galici. And these are what? Mykonos. And like I said, they had a send-off party, which you could go to, graduation party, you know. The relationship with the so-called boyfriend was a disaster. It was rubbish. And I became friends with this guy. Again, like I've said so many times, in those days, there wasn't any social media. So when you said goodbye, you said goodbye. And if you were lucky to meet up somewhere, somehow, okay. But majority of international students in those days, you went back home. Your parents were paying for you, so once you finished your course, you went back home. Da 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 da. You're putting on the lash loops. There you go. And again, like I've told you many times before, leave it for it to be tacky. When it's tacky, it will stick. That's what you want it to do. You want it to what? You want it to stick. And there you go. See? So now we're going to go with Pat McGrath's blusher. And we're going to put that. Ooh, look at how gorgeous it is. Don't worry, it just kind of blends in. You just want it to have some personality. So you just want to get that going. Don't worry, it's not going to be too much. And you just enhance that. And as I was saying, at the party, at the graduation party, the guy who I had ignored for most of the time that I was in college had now become my friend, and who I really had become extremely fond of. And you know the irony of it all, I have to say this, I did not notice his height. After a while, I just didn't notice his height because his heart was so big. Because his integrity as a human being was so much taller and higher than a lot of guys that I knew, including the useless boyfriend. And he said to me, Fumi, I leave tomorrow. And here I was again, in tears. I knew I wouldn't see him again. And before he had even left, I was already beginning to miss him. And he said something to me that I carried through my entire life. Till this very day. I'm going to use Neiman Tang, her glosses. Oh my God, everything. And these, my darlings, were in collaboration with Dose of Colors. I have an entire video down below so you guys can see. It's like you see it, and Egen, okay? This is one of the most beautiful chocolate lips I have ever had. Ever. And he said to me, Fumi, always go where you're loved. Go where you're loved. Irrespective of wherever you come from. Whatever anybody says, whatever you might think is right, close your eyes and go in the direction of where you receive love and respect and support. Let me tell you something. Acting is tough. As an actor, I was out there in LA. I was out there in California. I was in New York, hustling, modeling on those streets. YouTube is harder. YouTube is hard. I could never achieve what I have achieved if I did not have Ula by my side. The love that he gives me every day, that he shows me, that he gives to our son every day, is why I am able to find and have the confidence to say, yes, I can. I passed macroeconomics, and it was because of my short friend that was so much taller than so many people that I know in so many different ways. And then we're going to add the gloss on top of it. Why not? Do we love, darlings? Do we love? And then let us use Morphe Sour Patch. I could never achieve what I have achieved in the later part of my life, I would say, if it wasn't because I truly followed my heart and I went with going where I was loved, where I was truly loved. It didn't matter that Ole was white, like some people might think it's a deal breaker. It did not matter that he was Norwegian. All that mattered to me was that he loved me. And here we are, going 13 years strong, happiest in my entire life. The happiest I have ever been has been in my marriage. And that's just the fact. So, when you think, oh, how can I be happy with a shorter guy? Those are limitations that you are putting upon yourself. It's the same way with religion. It's the same way with race. It's the same way with you staying in one country. You are limiting yourself in a limitless world where there are opportunities upon opportunities that are just waiting there for you to take. If you wish and you work hard for something, I'm telling you here and now, you will never get it. You'll get something even better. You'll get something even bigger. Because if you go with a clear, transparent heart, you will win every single time. And you will realize that, oh my God, this is even bigger than I could ever expect. I have friends that have come to me and say, Fumi, oh my God, I could never have imagined that that you would become this, that you could become this. And I'm telling you, 99.9, because I followed my heart. I blinded myself to everything, to the outside noise. And I followed my heart. And I said, if this guy loves me, I'm going to go in that direction. And here we are. Que sera, sera. Do we love, darlings? Do we love? I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I will see you when? I'll see you very soon. Yeah.